My dad is a bodybuilder. My brother is a bodybuilder. My sister is a personal trainer and a bodybuilder. And then this is me. Today, I want to talk about talk. Self-talk, to be precise, and how to stop treating yourself worse than you would treat your friends, let alone your enemies. I have convinced now over 700 women to take their clothes off in front of me. Well, it's not me, it's my camera, and it's really not convinced as much as given permission to. You see, I am a luxury boudoir and empowerment photographer, and if I have learned anything, it is how deeply damaging the beauty propaganda machine is. And it all hinges on one word. If. I was only beautiful if I lost weight. I was only smart if I read the right books. In reality, we all come from a society that tells us that we could only be good enough if. But when you question your worth, your beauty, your talent, your skills, your abilities, you rob yourself of the opportunity to exist in the present moment. Not for who you were, or even who you might become, but for exactly who you are right now. But it turns out that when you learn to sit with your thoughts and face them without fear, you will finally be able to treat yourself with the same dignity, respect, and love that you treat the most important people in your lives. You know, I've never had a size 2 client come in happy with herself. Nah. She wishes she had curves like me, while I wish I was slender like her. The things that I hear my clients say about themselves sound straight out of the mouth of a high school bully. I'm too fat to do this. My breasts are too saggy to feel sexy. I need a facelift. I need a tummy tuck. I need a butt lift. The list of excuses is endless. Instead of honoring and celebrating ourselves, we tear ourselves down. And this isn't just in photography either. Our friends do this all the time. Next time that your friend tries on a new pair of jeans, try to tell them, you need a Brazilian butt lift to pull that off. Too harsh? Too cruel? Psychologically damaging? Of course it is, so why would you say that to yourself? For some reason, we treat ourselves, the one person on earth we spend 365 days with 24/7 from birth till death, as if we are the enemy. We have been forced to believe that the only way that we can be good enough is if we look like a photoshopped version of a real person. So how do we stop being the villain in our own story? You know, when I was in high school, my fitness-obsessed father refused to keep a job. He eventually moved on to a do-over family who would financially support him, leaving my mom with less than nothing. You know, I knew that they could repossess your cars, but I had no idea that they could repossess your dignity. And he had no remorse either. In fact, he dug in deeper that he was doing me a favor by my mom not being able to afford to fill the fridge. Oh, you're already overweight. You don't need to eat that much. Just imagine what your face could look like without your double chin. You should thank me for forcing you to diet. You're worthless, is all I heard. And so it was all I told myself. I mean, even now, engaged to a gorgeous man with a beautiful daughter and a beautiful home, financially thriving off of my own art, I still fight with my self-worth. I am worthless, is the tape that I let play in my head for nearly 2 decades, like a scratchy, broken record on repeat. But here's the good news, that while self-talk can harm, it can also heal. I finally began healing on May 6th, 2013, the day that my daughter was born. I knew the moment that I laid eyes on her that I would never want her to say the things about herself the way that I parroted my dad's words back to me. It was time to turn this outdated tape in my head off and just smash it to bits, Office Space style. Traditional media, social media, and the entertainment industry are fueling body insecurity among young women and young girls, so much so that the National Center for Biotechnology Information found that 77.6% of young girls suffer from body image dissatisfaction. When my daughter was 4, I remember this story. She had on just this cute little baby crop top, just as cute as could be with her bright red hair, and she just kept, yanking it down and yanking it down, and she looks at me in the eye and she says, "Mommy, I don't like my tummy." She didn't get that from the TV. She didn't get that from books. She couldn't read. She was 4. Where do you think that she got it from? One of the most important things that we can do is watch how we talk about ourselves in front of other people, especially in front of children. Social media, negative body image, and bullying have become so twisted up due to the lack of diverse representation. We see this singular ideal body as a measure of our own worth. I am finally proud to be a plus-size woman. For years, I never even felt like comfortable being in a room with people who were smaller than me. So much so that I leaned on making fun of myself as a defense mechanism because, if I make fun of myself first, then they can't do it, right? Ultimately, the joke was on me. I was unknowingly and unintentionally reinforcing my own jokes so much so that they became my reality. I have had to learn to minimize the amount of self-deprecating humor that I use. I now laugh at situations, like when I am standing on the stairs trying to take a selfie with my Starbucks sugar cookie latte and then laugh at situations, but stop laughing at who you are. I believe so much in self-validation and self-compassion that I actually own a business that's called Self-Love Experience. When our clients enter the studio, they enter a judgment-free zone, which is very, very, very rare as a woman, especially in groups of other women. But when you give someone the opportunity to exist free of any judgment, especially of their own self-judgment, they will finally begin to see themselves through someone else's eyes. And I had a client, it was back in 2015, and I remember she had canceled her session just a couple weeks before because she got in her own head that she wasn't pretty enough. Even years after having a child, she hadn't accepted her body and she thought that no one would want to see pictures of her. I felt really, really bad she thought of herself that way. But I understood. 3 years and another child later, she finally walked into the studio and she was literally shaking. When our clients walk in, we pay attention to the parts of their body that they're, tugging at or pushing on in the mirror, and we never ask them to focus on a perceived flaw. This genre of photography is designed to lift the veil on the perfection that you see in magazines so you can finally understand that anyone is capable of being a cover model if they also go through a very elaborate editorial process. I do not believe that you have to love every inch of yourself. No. It's about having balance and a true choice of focus so you can see what literally needs to be brought into the light and what can just fade into the shadows. I actually still keep a copy of the letter that she sent me the day after her session. I'm going to read it to you. I originally wanted to do this session for my husband, rekindle an old spark. Yet looking back now, I realize that this experience was solely for me. Yes, it's nice to get a compliment from your significant other, but it isn't until you value yourself and see the beautiful woman that you are that you can truly love yourself. I thought I had to look like a model to be pretty. I thought if my stomach wasn't flat that I wasn't attractive. I was so wrong. I am beautiful every single day, whether in my mom uniform with dirty hair and a bun or going on a date with my husband. I am an amazing, confident woman capable of anything I put my mind to, as long as I believe in myself. So how did she get to this place? And how do you? Step 1, learn to spend time alone. Studies actually show that even the ability to tolerate alone time is linked to increased happiness and, more importantly, improved stress management. Negative self-talk is super stressful. Alone time is your opportunity to listen undistracted to your emotions. You do this every day, and you can start with just a few minute breathing exercise, and that's step 2, and it's called 4-7-8 breathing. You see, your body reacts to your mind, and when your shoulders start to clench up and you feel the back of your jaw clenching and your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth and your breath is picking up speed and your heart starts pounding out of your chest, that is when you use this technique. You're going to breathe in for a count of 4 through your nose, hold for a count of 7, and breathe out through your mouth for a count of 8. It is scientifically proven to center yourself and slow your heart rate. Because in order for your mind to relax, your body has to get there first. The strategy is using tactical physical cues to remind your brain of its intention to treat yourself with respect. Self-love is the commitment to constantly do the work to make yourself better. It is hard, it is grueling, and it is often extremely painful. But on the other side of that is a peace that you will not get in any other way. I am here today to tell you what they never taught us in high school. You do not have to love yourself fully today, but today you can take the first step towards what you're going to do to like yourself just a little bit more tomorrow. And that begins with talking to yourself the way that you would talk to anyone in your life that you love. You are worthy of respect here and now. What they never taught us in school is that your worth is contingent on no one but yourself. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.